None of man's fantasies of evil can compare with the reality of Jaws.
Let's take the conversation from the sandy deserts of Dune to something a little bit more hydrating. Let's talk about Jaws. Jaws is one of my favorite movies. I remember as a kid in my high school film class, I became obsessed with the vertigo shot, and I believe it's not the first time I saw it, but it was the first time I registered that was a film technique, was in Jaws. And I became obsessed with trying to replicate it. I remember I made a bunch of short films that used the vertigo shot improperly, all because of Jaws. It's such a great movie. It's more than just a monster flick. I think we've seen this type of movie a million times since, and probably a million times before. Oh, we can't close the beaches because this is our time we make money. Grizzly did that. Orca, no, Orca I don't think did that. But that's a standard monster movie plot. Oh, no one believes the main character, and there's consequences because of it. But outside of that plot, I feel like there's a very human element of that movie. I love all the characters in that movie. I love the parts where they're just talking on the boat. I think one of my favorite parts of that movie is when Sheriff Brody is just having a quiet moment with his son. And I really feel like mainstream movies nowadays don't have quiet human moments like that anymore. At least not the ones I've been seeing. I kind of miss that. I feel like the humanity a lot of modern movies is gone. And I love revisiting these older ones because that just felt like such a real, pure moment. It's my favorite moment in the movie, actually. There's all these there's all so much cool stuff in Jaws, and my favorite moment is when he's having just a little moment with his kid. But that movie's like Hollywood royalty. That movie, I feel like every movie that's at least somewhat similar to it in premise, like Orca or Grizzly or half a dozen other movies. It's the bar, it's the standard. Everything is compared to it, and rightfully so. This was back when Steven Spielberg was just making hit after hit after hit. Man, it's crazy to think that one man can have so many fantastic movies. Love Jaws. I saw it in theaters recently, and I took my little sister to go see it, and she hated it. She was like, "I don't get what the big deal is," and I guess I kind of get it because there's been so much time in between. So many movies have ripped it off and they've ripped it off in a more exciting way, I guess. So if you come to it later on, it's like, what's so special about this? I think maybe John Carpenter's Halloween is probably in the same camp, because everything ripped that off and they made it more violent. So it's like, oh, what's the big deal about this movie? I've seen this before. It's just really slow. And I get that perspective from a younger person who's not quite as into movies as someone else might be. But yeah, Jaws is fantastic. Man, just talking about it makes me want to throw it on right now.